The thing I want to talk about, and I know I'm not going to be everyone's favorite person here, is the boat ramp parking. And the reality is the county does have nothing to do with this. If there was miscommunication or things being stated incorrectly in Palmetto, then that was what it was. But this is CRA-owned property in the city of Palmetto. The county has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's not even our boat ramp. So, just to kind of foreshadow what I'm about to say, I wouldn't approve the county using any money to buy this property at all. Because here's the reality. Yes, there's a lack of boat ramp parking. The reality is there's a lack of housing in Manatee County. There's a lack of pickleball courts in Manatee County. Over Lake Ranch is a lack of school desks in Manatee County. There's a lack of a lot of things in Manatee County. If you go to play tennis, you may have to sit there for hours and wait your turn. It doesn't mean we build 6 more tennis courts immediately. If you go to the mall, you're going to circle around on Black Friday looking for a parking space. Doesn't mean UTC builds acres and acres more of parking for those few days where it's going to be full. It's just a reality, and we are working on it. We hear you. We understand this is a boating community. This is a waterfront community. We want to provide amenities that people want and obviously need and use, and we are working on that. Commissioner Van Ostenbridge is diligently working to come up with new locations for boat ramps. I just met with our finance director a week or so ago. We started talking about CIP for parks, and I noticed that Hidden Harbor, which is directly across Fort Hammer from the Fort Hammer boat ramp, was a couple of years out. So I asked her to get with Charlie and look at it and say, okay, even if we're building the park in a few years, what would the cost be and the time be to build the parking for that park immediately? And you could basically go from Fort Hammer being 25 trailer spots to 50 to 75 trailer spots. We can use that land now. We own that land. We can pave it now. We can create the parking now and expand our parking north of the river in the interim, even if we're waiting to build beach volleyball courts. So there are things we're looking at. We understand. We're 100% aware of the situation, and I do think we're all working on this together. But, in my mind, and this is just me, we need to look at the bigger picture. There's convenient things that people want, and there's bigger picture of things. And people talk about a lot of people from the county use this, and people from Ellington use this, and we've heard previously people from Lakeland and Ruskin and so forth. The city of Palmetto is 13,000 people. It's a very small city. And right now, what we're asking is they're going to be on the hook for this. Their CRA bought this for $2 million. Their CRA currently has an $800,000 loan on this property that needs to be repaid at some point in time on property that creates no revenue source whatsoever to repay it. The CRA needs to cover this. And right now, they have 2 offers on the table, one for $3 million and one for $4 million. That's $1 million an acre. This is waterfront property. I don't like our city hall over here on the water. There's better use of space. And then when you build it, they're talking about 250 to 300 units. That's $2.5 to $3 million of impact fees that directly go to the northwest quadrant of Manatee County. That can be used for all sorts of upgrades and improvements for everyone who lives in the city of Palmetto, everyone who's in unincorporated Palmetto. And on top of that, you got to look at the long term, where just using Aria as an example, because it's a newer apartment complex in a municipality, they could be getting $500,000 to $600,000 a year in real estate taxes, of which $150,000 to $180,000 of it initially goes directly to the city of Palmetto from their millage alone. You don't think that they have a use for that money? We're asking the city of Palmetto residents to forgo services, to forgo improvements for boat ramp parking, when this is the kind of thing they need. We talk about not moving the potentially not moving the FDAB line, and we say let's not have sprawl. Let's focus on urban core. Let's focus on infill. This is exactly what we're talking about. This is part of an urban core directly across from a bridge. This is an opportunity to connect downtown Bradenton to downtown Palmetto. This is an opportunity to get a continuous from Sutton Park to Lecom Park, and have the developments that we need, the rooftops we need, because FDOT and the City of Palmetto have been talking for a couple of years about a massive rejuvenation of 10th Avenue West. They're talking about complete streets and walkways and bike areas connecting Sutton Park down to the water. This is what you need. You need these rooftops here because that's what rejuvenates the downtown. It gets the coffee shops and the bars and the restaurants and the boutiques down there. And that continuously improves that urban core area. And we've got the Sheraton eventually going in next to the convention center. When people come to a convention, City of Palmetto wants them cutting across 7th and going over to downtown and going to D's for a burger and going to the new restaurants and the bars and then walking the bridge over to have a drink over at Oak and Stone and then walking back. This is exactly what City of Palmetto needs. So, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you want, and I can appreciate it, which is why I think we're all diligently working to come up with solutions. I just personally don't think this is the solution. This is the convenience because it exists today. But, looking at eating all this cost, forgoing this sale, forgoing these impact fees, these future taxes, not to mention eventually having to improve it, because if you put a legitimate 100-plus parking spots in there, which, mind you, are going to cost you $70,000 plus just in foregone cost, you're also going to have to pave it. You're going to have to put bathrooms in. The River House and It Works isn't going to allow people just to use their bathrooms endlessly when you make a real boat slip. Because when you have 100-plus spots there, you're really going to get the people from the Ruskins and from the Ellingtons and from the Lakelands coming. Because now it's a known spot that you can park. And then you start having 8th Avenue backed up with trailers waiting for their turn to launch a boat because there's a bottleneck there because there's only so many boats you can launch in an hour. So, I hear what you're saying, and we don't have a direct dog in this fight. It's not a county property. I just think I've read too many times where people say, let's get the county to pay for it. Let's get the county to buy us. Let's get the county to... I'm just not on board with that. I think City of Palmetto needs this, and we are doing our best to do our part to try to accommodate boat slip parking where we can in Manatee County. Even if it's not this exact second, we are trying to do it as quickly and efficiently and as cost-effectively as possible for everybody in Manatee County. Thank you.